Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with more Jay Z news. Now, Memphis Bleak was on Drink Champs not too long ago, and he stated that Jay Z is working on new music, but is there a new album on the horizon? That would be very big news because Jay Z hasn't released a full studio album since 2017. His last release, 444, which was a great project, but he's been releasing singles and been making appearances. Well, he's not made singles, but he's been on appearances with other artists and doing features and things like that, but he hasn't released a project. Now, people have been clamoring for another Jay-Z album, for the last half a decade or so. And, it's been 8 years. So it's about time that he released another project. But of course, he's been busy with business ventures he has and the Super Bowl stuff, and he manages artists and athletes and things like that. So he has a very busy schedule. So it's only probably right that he has some kind of hiatus with all the different hats he has to wear. But I think this would be big news, especially at the right time, because there's been a lot of great music this year. The Clips album, I can't talk about that enough. The Let God Sort 'Em Out album, I still listen to it, you know, a month and a half after it's been released, and it still feels fresh to me, and it feels like hip hop is back. Freddie Gibbs and that Alchemist album. The Alfredo 2 is very good as well. I'm still listening to songs from that. The Mass Appeal albums, they've been putting out albums from classic acts from Raekwon, Ghostface Killer, Slick Rick. Also, they have a Nas album that's coming out hopefully this year. I'm looking forward to that as well. So it's perfect time for Jay Z to put out music right now. And it would be major for hip hop to have such a major year, especially with quality. Not thinking about the sales or thinking about the commercial success, just thinking about the product that's going out there uh, for hip hop going forward. People are rapping and people are actually putting lyrics and pen to pad and actually putting good production together and good projects. And I know Jay Z will be able to do that because he'll bring out some of the best producers, the Pharrells, the Just Blaze, the Timbalands. I'm pretty sure for an album, he'll bring out the top talent. Hopefully, he has some kind of song with Alchemist because he's the producer of the year, in my opinion. And Pharrell's right up there with him after doing that Clips album. But what does a Jay Z album mean for the industry? It means a lot, especially in terms of just having that parody in hip hop. Because over the last couple of years, you can only pick like maybe one or two albums that's been really good, but this year has been a slew of albums, and we still have like 3 months and some change left. So it would bring great parody to this year, to those great album years that were in the '90s, that '08 year that had a lot of great albums as well. So this 2025 year will definitely be up there if Jay Z releases an album, because we know he's not going to release a dud. It's going to be something that's very thought out and something that has a lot of money put into it. So it's going to be a great project, especially with the content that can be on that album, because we know that Jay Z and Rock Nation had a lot of controversies since that 2017 album 444. Controversies, whether it be the conspiracies that are surrounding Tory Lane and Rock Nation and Meg The Stallion, that Desiree Perez issue that was alleged, uh, the Tony Busby fake lawsuit that he had, and the turmoil with that, the alleged beefs with Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake, that whole Young Money crew that allegedly had beefs with Jay Z, Lil Wayne with the Super Bowl getting snubbed, Nicki Minaj on her Twitter rants, Drake with him posting photos of Solange and things like that. So it's a lot of content that he can get into that'll make the album very controversial and definitely make it one of the classic albums that he's had. Probably not to the level of A Reasonable Doubt or, in my opinion, American Gangster is my favorite Jay Z album, which I'll have to do a segment about that eventually. But I think he would have to address at least some of these controversies, probably not all of them, but because he's not vocal in the media or in the press or in the public. So I do think he will address these in some kind of way, and it'll be very clever. One of the ways that we'll quote those lines probably forever, because he's just that witty with a pen or just that clever with a pen. So we'll be able to do that. And also for him to release an album this year, there's been speculation that he can call his own number and he will be able to be to perform for the Super Bowl. Now that would be major for him to drop an album to do the Super Bowl and then, be eligible for all those accolades when it's time for the Grammy times. He could have that Kendrick Lamar type run that he had last year or the year or prior. Um, as far as success goes, because he'll have that momentum from an album, and then to be performer in the Super Bowl because he has enough hits to do the Super Bowl, probably 3 times over. Um, Especially when you're only doing about 15 minutes or so. But what he can do with 15 minutes is pretty amazing. And not many artists can do that, but he definitely has the catalog to do so. Especially he can bring out Beyonce, he can bring out Rihanna, he can bring out, whoever you can think of on those songs. Alicia Keys, he definitely has performed the New York song. But I think, Jay definitely has the potential to do that Kendrick Lamar light type run like he did last year. And then him being 50 years old is not the sentence that it used to be back in the day for a hip hop artist because there's so many hip hop artists now doing it over the age of 50 or in their late 40s. Your Nas's, your Eminems, your Malices, your Pusha T's, your Juicy J's, even the Andre 3000 when he comes out still can perform at a high level. So being a 50 is not a death sentence anymore like it used to be in hip hop because we know the music translates now as you get older because some of our best talents are older and some of the best rappers are over 50. The art rappers now that's under 50 are more pop and, doing other genres and things like that. But pure hip hop, you have to go to your late 30s to your mid 50s to find those nowadays. So I think it's no longer a young man's game, it's an older man's game as far as hip hop is concerned. But nevertheless, I think it'll be a good thing for Jay Z to release an album for the parody of the genre and just for the overall health of hip hop. It's something we want to see. But until next time, I'll see you next time.